pretty much a fact of life that some places are prone to flooding. It's also pretty much a fact of life that floodwater is quite dirty. That dirt, muck, and biological waste absorbs into your walls and floor coverings, and it can pollute the indoor air even after they've dried out. Remove the interior trim and wallboard. Chances are the wall sheathing was soaked with dirty water too, so that will also need to be removed. With the brick exposed, turn your attention to cleaning up the drainage path for future water events. There are usually large blobs of mortar that not only bridge the gap behind the brick, but can also fall down and block the escape route for water. Chisel excess mortar away from the framing and suck it out of the cavity with a shop vac. Now that there's a clear path for the water to drain down, give it a place to drain out. Cut out the mortar joints between every third brick along the bottom course and insert a weep screed that will keep insects out while letting water escape. With the base of the wall able to expel water and the cavity behind it clear for drainage, we're ready to flash the bottom of the wall. The best way to protect the wall from future flood damage is with a waterproof membrane. Paint over the bottom plate, up the studs a little bit and down the front of the slab to form a pan that will direct water out the weep holes that we cut earlier. Drainage mesh with a facing or filter fabric is installed against the brick. This allows rainwater getting past the brick to drain out of the cavity. From there, closed-cell spray foam can be installed in the walls. Closed-cell 2-pound density polyurethane spray foam will not absorb the water from the next flood, so next time you won't have to replace it. The spray foam also adds structural integrity to the wall. One last step before closing it all up is to paint the framing with acrylic latex paint. Cover this all with a non-paper face drywall, and with any luck, the next flood repair will be a whole lot less invasive.